I don't know how you could say that they shouldn't be all in because you might only have Tucker for this year, and you should capitalize. And these opportunities, like these moments can be fleeting, and they're rare. And speaking of just what their minor league system looks like, now that we are 60 games in, or basically Kylie McDaniel, on ESPN.com, who does all their organizational prospect rankings, Yerk.
Yep.
He just updated his top 10 for every team. And he's got a few guys that have risen into his top 10 within the Cubs system that weren't previously there. So his top 10, now a couple of these guys have already been in the big leagues, including Matt Shaw, who's been in the big leagues more than any of them. But he's got Shaw 1 still. That's where he was before. He's got Ballesteros 2, Horton 3, and then Alcantara 4. Then Jefferson Rojas 5th, Owen Casey 6th, Jackson Wiggins 8th, and then 3 newcomers to the top 10 for the Cubs, Christian Hernandez, Pedro Ramirez, and Jonathan Long. And he writes, what to know? Hernandez, he's talking about Christian Hernandez here, 21-year-old shortstop, York, was a highly touted international signee who was turning the corner with raw power as his calling card. Also keep an eye on outfielder Eli Lovich. He wasn't even in this list, but he's just giving you the big picture breakdown.
Right.
A prep pick from last year's draft
Lovich.
as an arrow-up prospect further down the list. Next to debut, he writes, the first 4 on the list have all debuted. Long and Casey look like they'll be the next up if there's need at some point for a thumper. And that's what Owen Casey has done at AAA. His numbers are pretty good, and he's hit for some power. I think he's got 7 or 8 home runs already at AAA. So do one of those guys on that list outside the top 3 become available? I mean, I think you kind of have to push pretty much all in on these moments in these situations, especially if you know internally you're probably not going to keep Kyle Tucker. They know what their baseball budget's going to be. Tom Ricketts is probably in quiet places. Look, he's telling a guy at a blog, no, there's no money. We're just trying to break even. They're not going to spend $600 million on Kyle Tucker.
That's what it sounds
If
like.
you got
That's
him
what
for
it
1
feels
year,
like.
go.
Yeah.
You might as well.
He's here. Make it happen.
Exactly. You might as well go and make it happen. They're not going to be in a bidding war with the Phillies or Yankees. There's nothing in their history that tells us they are. I'm not being a hater. That's the truth, isn't it? What in their history tells us that they are? Listen to the way he's talked since COVID and since winning his World Series. So are they going to be bidding against the Dodgers and the Phillies and the Yankees? Probably not. You might as well go now.
Try to get one. Every 10 years, try to get one.
Well, you would take that, wouldn't you? You'd be pretty happy with that.
I mean, compared to the history of the Cubs, would you take it? Of course you would.
Yeah, I think any fan would take it. Jeff is in Mendota on ESPN 1000. What's up, Jeff?
What's up, guys? Thanks for the show. Love listening to you guys.
Thanks.
Travel a ton, so
Thank you.
Awesome. Love Carmen and Jurko. I just wanted to add went to the game on Saturday, right? And what happened to the old adage of you break even on the TV money, you break even on the ticket money, and you're just basically a big restaurant that is free entertainment. With $9 sodas and $15 beers, them boys are making a pretty penny, that's for sure.
Sure seems that way, unless there's something we don't know, Jeff.
They'll tell you they're broke.
They'll tell you they're broke.
Yep. We're broke. Yet they just keep building around that.
They do.
Interesting. Why? If you can't make money there, why do you keep building around it?
Yeah, I just find it hard to believe.
Oh,
I find it hard to believe that all these billionaires want in these pro sports teams and these leagues with the TV money and everything else.
Look at this magic accounting we're doing over here.
If it's
whoosh, 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 whoosh.
Label me skeptical.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I can't tell you that I'm 100% right, but
you're not wrong. You're right.
Seems very unlikely that all these teams are broke.
Yep.
I just have a hard time buying it.
I think they always want to show you that they're broke. That way they don't have to pay a lot of taxes.
I think that's exactly what they like to do.
Yep.
So
not surprised. They all do it.
But
they all do it.
I say when you have opportunities like this, you really think about not that you want to sacrifice your future. And again, there are going to be certain guys that, of course, are going to be off limits. Who those would be for the Cubs? Internally, what do they think? Guy like Ballesteros maybe or Horton might be, Shaw, whatever. Like, there's going to be a handful of guys that you're going to deem, no, that's not worth it. That's a little bit reckless for the future. But there could be other good prospects that you might have to give up, that you don't want to give up, but you do it because you realize the opportunity. They've done that before. it didn't work out nearly the way the White Sox thought it was going to work out for them. And I don't think the Cubs gave up a player that at the time they really valued, that they thought was going to be very good. He had a brief fleeting moment, but just look at the Eloy trade. Look at Cease and Eloy. They knew they were giving up good prospects. They did.
Yes, they did.
They knew they were giving up good prospects to get those players.
Yeah, right. Prospects. It's 100% exactly
but
what
they
you
did
said.
it anyway.
Yeah.
And so I could see them being in a situation where they do something similar because I think you take advantage of these opportunities when you get them. And if you see an opportunity to get to October and be the best you can be and be all in, I don't know why you wouldn't be. And they're not going to need much in way of offense, but pitching is going to be a priority and a necessity, especially with some of the injuries. And you're not getting Justin Steele back this year. So a bullpen arm and a starting pitcher are probably top of the list of what they're going to try to add as we get closer to the trade deadline.